Welcome to Business Talk here on Business Tech. And it's one of those facts of life that around the dinner table, around the weekend braai, I think many South Africans are interested in attaining a second residency in a European country in particular. Now, obviously, globally, I think COVID precipitated an instant and significant change in our home and our lifestyle priorities for many people. But I think in countries like here in South Africa, where the economic and the social repercussions have been more severe, there really has been a spike in immigration and offshore investment inquiries, and just the desire to have a firm plan B in place, a bolt hole like a permanent residency in another country through a property investment or some other way of acquiring that second residency. And it's a great pleasure to welcome my next guest, Charles Mizzi, who's the CEO of Residency Malta Agency, because one great option for a second residency is Malta. Charles, welcome to the show. What makes Malta such a great second residency option?
First of all, thank you, Michael, for this fantastic opportunity. There are a number of reasons why people choose Malta as their second residence. One of them, I believe, is the fact that we are one of the safest countries in the world. In fact, a couple of years ago, it was considered as the second safest for women. So people who eventually apply for our program want to put their mind at rest that they are giving a better opportunity, a better life for their families. The second reason that one also look up to Malta is the healthcare service that we provide. Again, we are considered as one of the best healthcare services worldwide. It is considered among the top 5 by WHO. And I believe that testament to this is the fact the way we conducted business during COVID. So here again, this gives the families peace of mind in knowing that if they fall ill, they would have a good healthcare system to fall onto. Then there are the educational institutions that one can find in Malta. We have top educational institutions, both by private and public schools. We have a 400-year-old university. And there are also a number of other educational institutions, private ones, that offer postgraduate options for people who want to further their studies. Obviously, one would also ask about the lifestyle. The fact that we have a very good lifestyle backed by a very good climate. We enjoy 300 days of sunshine. We have many people are considered to be very, very friendly. And one thing that also attracts people is the fact that the expat community in Malta is very big. In fact, 1 in 5 of the inhabitants in Malta is an expat. So people feel right at home. The language is also important. We are an English-speaking country, so it's very easy to communicate on the island, and people shouldn't have any difficulties to live here and communicate. For those who would eventually choose Malta for business reasons, there are also a lot of benefits in this. Our location being at the heart of the Mediterranean, close to Europe and North Africa, makes us a good country to do business with. Our strategic location is something that gives us a lot of value added. We have a very pro-business government. Business, I would say, is very much new business opportunities is very much appreciated by by our government. We have entities ready to help startups and people who would like to invest in our country. I would say those are most of the prime reasons why people opt for Malta as their second residency.
You had me at 300 days of sunshine, Charles. I mean, for a South African, I think that's so often a very important requirement when one does look to acquire a second residency. Is that lifestyle? Is that, what am I going to be foregoing or giving up? There's so many other great reasons that you've listed. So what are the requirements? How does one become a resident of Malta?
The requirements are quite straightforward. Obviously, you have to be a non-EU national. So the program is open for third country nationals. One has to have a stable and regular finances. As a minimum, we require assets in the region of 500,000 euros, 150,000 euros of which needs to be financial assets, either cash held in their bank account or bonds or stocks. And they must also have a clean criminal record and a valid travel document. When it comes to the program requirements, one has to pay a non-refundable administration fee of 40,000 euros, 10,000 of which has to be paid initially upon application submission. Then they have, if they get approved, they have two property options. One can either decide to rent a property. There are two different thresholds in the south of Malta or Gozo or Sister Island. One needs to pay a minimum of 10,000 euros per annum or 12,000 euros in the rest of Malta. Alternatively, one can purchase a property in Malta. Here again, there are two different thresholds, starting with 300,000 euros minimum in the south or Gozo and 350,000 in the rest of Malta. On top of that, one needs to make then a government contribution, which varies depending on the real estate choice. So if one opts to rent a property, they need to make a contribution of 58,000 euros or 28,000 euros if they decided to purchase a property. Here, it's important to point out that this contribution eventually is invested by government in the local economy. So these funds are eventually put to good use. They are invested in our infrastructure, education, etc. So people who eventually decide to apply for our program and start residing in Malta can also benefit from the investment they will be making. On top of that, we ask for a donation of 2,000 euros to a registered NGO, charitable institutions like animal welfare, cultural institutes, etc. And they also need to take out health insurance to cover risks in Malta, so that if they need any assistance while they're here in Malta, they would have peace of mind in knowing that their health insurance cover will be, the health insurance policy will be covering for any risks they may encounter during their stay here.
Right. It is a process, and obviously it's always better to have someone who understands the process, who's been working inside the system. How does Residency Malta make applying for and acquiring residency in Malta simple?
The first step is to seek a licensed agent. We have a list on our website with all the approved licensed agents. A prospective applicant will then make contact with anyone of those agents to kickstart the application process from there. Obviously, they would have to discuss the process. The agent will help them fill in the application. From our side, we promise an efficient application process. In fact, even on our website, we are promising a 4 to 6 month time frame, but in reality, we are being more efficient. than that. Obviously, it depends on the quality of the application. If it's complete and correct, we would be able to process in a shorter time period. Once the application reaches us, we will then start to conduct our rigorous due diligence process to make sure that only those with a clean background may make it to the program.
And I mean, one has to also have full confidence in that program and process as well in order to be willing to support it. Now, what interesting trends are you seeing when it comes to people applying for residency in Malta? Have you seen COVID increase interest or appetite for things like second residency?
Yes, indeed. Obviously, we had our challenges, but in reality, we lived quite a normal life. I think Malta passed through very positive feedback and reviews from WHO, and this hasn't gone unnoticed. And now we are seeing an upward trend in interest and application for the residence program.
Well, I mean, it's certainly something. Just the other day, I was looking to see if I could get to the Champions League final in Paris. And if you're not, an EU citizen or you don't have a Schengen visa, it's tough to travel. You could only get an embassy visit in June, which certainly didn't help considering the finals end of May. So these things certainly do help. What are the next steps for a viewer who might be interested in Maltese residency and to take advantage of all these benefits and particularly considering that the threshold, I think, for many South Africans who are in that stage of their careers looking for that plan B isn't particularly onerous. What are the next steps?
If they go on the website, they find all the relevant information, the detailed FAQs, the list of licensed agents. But I would say it would be wise to get in touch with the licensed agent to discuss the process with them. Obviously, all our agents have a lot of experience in the area, and they can help the prospective applicants to fill in a complete and correct application. They can guide them on the requirements, and also they can help them to look around for properties when eventually they visit Malta. And the agents will sort of handle all the application process from start to finish to make it an easy ride for our prospective applicants. Obviously, all the applications need to be vetted by us. They need to go through the diligence process, and they have a clean background. So we look into in detail into all the applications, source of wealth, source of funds. But if they follow all the instructions and all the requirements, it will be quite a smooth process.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking now, because of COVID, I think things like remote working, the trend of remote working and the fact that we've seen it's much easier to work in one place and serve customers in another. And clearly, this is another of those programs that would certainly benefit from such an arrangement.
Yes, in reality, apart from the challenges, also COVID created a lot of new opportunities as well. In fact, in June of last year, we launched the Nomad Residence Programme. It's a program for remote workers. As such, the digital nomad industry and sector and remote working was not new to Malta, because we've had a number of EU nationals who eventually decide to come to Malta to work remotely from our island. What we did in June was we extended this opportunity to non-EU nationals as well. So now South Africans can, if the employer gives them permission, or else if their job allows it, they can come to Malta to work remotely from our island. The fact that we have a very strong broadband connection, we have Wi-Fi practically anywhere, so one can take their laptop and go to work near the beaches, so on the beaches.
Well, I think quite clearly several compelling cases to consider Malta as your second residency program of choice. Thank you very much, Charles Mizzi, CEO of Residency Malta Agency. If you want to make the process of applying and choosing Malta as your second residency as seamless and easy as possible, I think you'd be hard pressed to find a better place to start your journey than with the Residency Malta Agency here on Business Talk on Business Tech.